In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can use simulations to model chance situations. There's a 4-step process. First, state. We want to pose the question that we'd like to answer that's based on a chance outcome. Then we're going to plan. So we're going to pick some physical device or maybe our calculator to represent the possible outcomes in a proportionate way. Then we'll use whatever we've decided and we'll do many repetitions to make the simulation. And then finally, we'll make a conclusion about the outcome. Now, in terms of what you could use, physical devices would include things like a deck of cards, maybe some dice. You've got the random number table in your with your formula sheet. You've got your calculator where you can do the random int command, and you've got websites like random.org. These are all tools that we could use. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say that there is a certain kind of breakfast cereal and is giving away a collectible card for 5 different racers. In this case, we've got Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, Danica Patrick, and Jimmie Johnson. And a particular fan wants to buy these boxes of cereal until they get all 5 cards. Now, they'll probably have lots of repeats, but they want to get at least one of each. Now, this fan is surprised when it turns out that she ended up buying 23 boxes before she got one of each. And we want to know, what are the chances that this happened? Is this really surprising? So what we'll do is we'll create a simulation. So the problem is, what's the probability that it would take 23 or more boxes to get the full set of 5 cards? Next, we'll come up with a plan. Now, since they are each equally likely, that means there's a 1 in 5 chance for each of the cards. So we're just going to pick numbers from 1 to 5 with our calculator, and we're going to assign each number a card. So if we get a 1 from our random integer on the calculator, that corresponds with getting the Jeff Gordon card. If we get a 2, that's Dale Earnhardt Jr., 3, Tony Stewart, 4, Danica Patrick, and 5, Jimmie Johnson. So we'll put all of this into our calculator, random int 1 through 5, and keep pressing enter and recording the results until we get all 5 of the cards. And then we'll repeat that process many times to see, on average, how many boxes do we need to buy before we get one of each. So here's a possible outcome. Let's say I was using the randint feature on my calculator and I pressed enter and I got a 3 and then a 5 and then a 1 and then a 5 and then a 2 and then a 3 and then a 5 and then a 4. I finally got one of each. That took 9 boxes. I'm going to keep doing that. Maybe the next time I had to press the random int command 16 times before I got one of each of the cards. And if I continue to do that many times, and then eventually make a dot plot of them, so this dot plot has 50 repetitions if I continue to do this. And then we want to figure out, how unusual was it? How often did we need to buy 23 or more boxes? Well, here we did 50 repetitions, and the most we ever had to buy was 22. So that means 0 out of the 50 times did we need to buy 23 or more boxes to get the full set of cards. So that's a 0% chance, and that is pretty unusual.